Peace, family, peace and blessings. Welcome to another great conversations with some queen mothers and yayas and eels and all of that good stuff. Today on African Spiritual Conversations. I'm really loving these conversations. And before we got on there, we always do like talking in the back. So today we're going to kind of look at how to recognize when you're at war with yourself, even though you can still be at war with other people. And one of the things that was really apparent for me, and I'm just going to kind of give a little backdrop. Yesterday, I listened to watched several different videos that I tried to share on Facebook about like just in time. Like there was one case where a black man went to law school, then he ended up in the place where the young brother just got killed at with the police on his neck. Minnesota. So Minneapolis, Minnesota. So he was there. He ended up building a house. The white people tried to get him out the house. All this stuff happened. And then that was like in 1902. If after a while they left, whatever. But the very powerful thing about that is that then these people came up with zoning laws. It was right after this because it was their way of dealing with like, how dare you come move up in here? And I think sometimes when we're kind of somewhat at war with other people, we really have to deal with our own internal war with ourselves. And when you watch a lot of these things, whether it was there, I watched the thing Hamer that had me in tears. It was very short, but that woman was so powerful. Like just I was just like, because I worked where she's from down in the Delta, Starkey County and places like that. But there's always this internal war that's happening inside of ourselves, and people tend to think that we can't look at that, or that doesn't exist, or we shouldn't be saying black on black. But we know we have issues, and you can't ask other people to value you when you are struggling to value yourself. It's just a really kind of a hard sell, or even with yourself internally. Like, if you're a black woman and you're in the black movement, not only are you fighting the so-called oppressor, but sometimes you be fighting people inside of your own group when you look at misogyny. Like sometimes you have to be like, oh yeah, that's not cool. Like, or when I watched the thing with Weinstein, what's the Harvey one? Not Harvey, the other one.
Epstein,
thank you. Why can't I get it right? When they talked about those white women and their virtue, when he talked about R. Kelly, you could clearly see the difference in our community, the way we respond to value. And that to me is indicative of being at war with oneself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what do you do? How can you first recognize that you may be at war with yourself?
Being uncomfortable.
Good afternoon, ladies. First of all of the things you say, I agree with. They're the truth. So there's no sense in trying to not look at the truth. But I think we can do more than one thing at a time. We have an issue with the way this country has treated Black people since they came and snatched us out of our own homes. And because of that part of our history, we have developed certain habits and traits that have almost internalized racism. We've turned that gun that was pointing at us back on ourselves. And so we have to look at all of it at the same time. I think at the same time, we got a lot of work to do within ourselves and within our communities, and we better do it quickly because it's not getting better. But we also have that systemic racism that and white supremacy, white privilege, and white fragility that also has to be addressed.
So let me just say this before I know Ye want to say something, but I have to be very honest, and I hear what you're saying here. But when I look at my ancestors or talking to, that's why it's so great to have lived history from people who lived the time and era, not people who are kind of telling you. And my family, we never depend on the government. So some of this,
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
almost feels like excuses for today. Because when I look at history,
Mm.
all of the stuff that our people fought for, I never once hear them say, "Well, we're gonna." They was moving. Like when I looked at when I looked at
Yeah.
Salem Hammer being beat down by first the cops beat her down, then they put her in a cell with black men and they beat her down. Some accounts were saying that she could have been raped. I don't know, but this woman still got back up where I would
Yeah.
have laid down. So I get the. I just feel like we're so brilliant that internalized piece that's going to be for a few Negroes, but we could not have done all the stuff that we've done in the past if we was really internalizing what happened to us. We was
Well,
We can't be.
we
can't be.
we lived in a different time. The 1960s, the 1950s were entirely a different time from where we are today. And there things have gone on that we have to look at from uh, different perspectives, and we have to work on all of these things. And I'm not saying that our people. I'm not saying that our people didn't do what they needed to do, or that we're not doing what we need to do. What I'm saying is, there's a fight to be fought by all of us. Those who want to look at within the community, and those who may want to look at the white racism part of it. All of us have to do this work on this, because all of it is coming together. It's one issue, really.
I agree,
You
but I
know,
feel like if you don't know your history, though, you really almost can't even fight because what white people have is historical memory and things
Mhm.
that back them up. We want to act like it's happening right now where we are. You could go back 100 years from now, 150 years ago. I'm just saying ago, and see the same exact struggle. So it's really not that different.
it's
That's
not.
almost like it's something that helps the other side.
And you
Mhm.
know what? There's something else that we're not taking into consideration in this, is that we have to also look at the fact, of course, we have come from different times and different stages of life, but we keep saying we got to learn how to do this. We got to change, and ain't no other guy, no other system of people are saying what we got to do. We are saying that. We have to change. Why do we have to change how we do? Society doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. Here it is that as a people, yes, we're disenfranchised. But at one point, I think we talked about it before behind scenes about the 500 and some odd years that we controlled Europe as the Moors.
Mhm.
Okay. So we gave our cultural dynamics to other cultures. Okay. So that's something that's a historical fact. We control Europe. So were they saying we got to change? We got to do this. We got to do that. No, they just did it as part of evolution. So where are we now? We have to consider in the terms of what we're presenting to people. What is it that we want people to understand about those changes that took place and the changes that are taking place now? We're in the midst of a paradigm shift. George Floyd represents a paradigm shift. All the people who have been hurt by systemic racism is representing now as a shift that's taking place in the world. What are we doing to make sure that our own demons, so to speak, are not interfering with what is the movement of the things that we have to do? So I have conflicts. I see what's on TV. I see and hear what other people are dealing with. I'm looking at different things within my own family and how they're responding. My daughter and nieces were out marching last week. My hair went like turning another gray, another gray hair because they're doing what I did 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Okay. And what they were raised to do was to fight on. Okay. But my conflict is that's my baby. Those are my children. What's going on? Is somebody going to hurt my babies now? Okay. So it becomes it is personal, and it's been personal. But yet here it is. Are we the only people that sit down and say what we need to do with our community, uh, and how we respond, not only from an emotional place, but a strategic place when we are faced with purity, unadulterated hatred.
Mm.
Okay. How do we respond to that? That's what we have to do. Okay. In terms of this circle, because I can't tell other Black folks what to do. I can hope that I influence them to think a different way about how they're going to respond to different things. Okay. To think in a different way that's going to be proactive and healthy for us. But on the whole, can I tell them what to do? I can't tell them not to be mad because I'm mad.
Mm.
Okay. I'm damn mad. And I hurt. Okay. But I hurt when Mark Clark was killed. I was in that community then in Chicago. Okay. I hurt when other people were hurt. Okay. So what is it that what's our solution? To quelling what's going on inside, okay, and still do what you got to do out here to move us forward. Whatever that part is, because we all are doing just different parts to it. Okay. Are we dealing with our healing? Okay. Because right about now I got PTSD. Okay. And I ain't talking about, I'm not talking about the disease. I'm talking about another aspect of it. Post-slave traumatic, you know, that disorder. So I have to look at that. Okay. What is in my DNA? Because that's another part. What's in our DNA? That we have been historically going, my grandmother, my great grandmother. I was blessed to see both of them. Okay. What their experiences were predicated upon the experiences of their own grandparents, parenting, and how they looked at the times that they were in. And trust me, they was pissed off too. I grew up with pissed off women, but they also knew how to make it happen for them. For example, my grandmother would never, ever, ever let me clean somebody's house. That was something that she felt that it was just beneath us to do. Why?
Mm.
Because she had to do it
Yeah.
to make a living. Not because it was not a good job or anything like that, but because of the demeaning and hateful things that people said to them. My grandfather was part of the 100 men on the Pullman Railroad. He was getting his butt whooped, all trying to do his job. He was a Pullman porter. Okay. So with that and how he had to live, he had to come home and be the man in the house. And when he went to work, he had to be a boy. That was what he had on his head. So that stuff is still coursing through my veins.
Right on. Right on.
Okay.
So what do we do when we're in so here? So I'm right there with you. Diddle, diddle, diddle. But what I'm saying is that how can we look at our own internalized war with ourselves? And this is going to be a hard one because when you take white people out of the equation, most Black people fall asleep because that's about. I come from a people who took accountability for themselves. They dare not try because it didn't help us at all. It didn't help them at all. So they was like, we have to be accountable to ourselves. How do we deal with that? Most of us can't even imagine a world where we don't have white people to blame. Hold on, sister. I got you. That's horrible.
Oh. So I posted some questions on my Facebook page, and they were aimed at this very conversation, because what I've been seeing is a lot of begging white people to love us.
That's what I've been saying out here.
Let us live. Why can't we jog? Why can't we such and such? Why can't we just do? You know what I mean? Okay, well, that's
Get along.
clear that that's not a question that we're gonna get the answer that we want from, but we keep on asking it because it's easier than saying. It's easier than demanding that you let me live, right? Because we need to get to the root of, individually and collectively, of what we want, right? Everybody has things that they want individually, and then collectively we have these values of things that are important to us, like the preservation of Black life, education, access to food, these things, right? But we have to transition from the mindset that somebody's going to give us these things, and that they need to get out of the way so that we can get them. Do you know what I mean? So instead of we're actively being aggressed and blocked from getting the things that would have us live rather than just survive. This has been the case ongoing, and every time, and the reason why people are in this posture of begging is because they're looking at the history, right? Every time we have a minor or major uprising, we're flooded with all the information of our history. Black Wall Street. Oh, the black people are so great. We so innovative. We built our own economic system and we did our own thing. And then they burned it down. Rosewood. Allensworth. You know, all these. There were a lot of all Black towns. East Palo Alto used to be an all Black city. Everybody on city council was Black. The mayor was Black. It was all Black people. And then the crack epidemic pretty much washed it out, so that now Menlo Park can look like it does. You don't know Black people from mine. So can't even afford to rent there. And that's where my grandmother lived. So I remember going into East Palo Alto because it's basically right across the street from Menlo Park, and visiting with my cousins and my friends, and I had a lot of family living off of there. And as a child, and it was just a magnificent experience to just be around all Black people, especially when most of them was related to me. But then, as I became a young adult, the violence was such that I could be standing on the corner with my cousins and some friends of ours talking. We all go home, and the next day, I would get a call that somebody who was standing there with us had been shot and killed just in that amount of time. So it's those types of things that have people struggling on the inside of themselves on, is there something I should be asking for or something that I should be demanding? And first of all, I think the primary thing is for us to know what we want. Like we may be, some of us, so far removed from the idea that we get to be a full human being with a life of our own, that we don't even know what we want.
That's true.
You don't even know what you want to eat. You don't know what you want to do. You don't know where you want to live. You don't know nothing. You just let life happen to you and then complain about it. So we have to remove ourselves wherever we are in the spectrum of that to a place where we're like, I get to have this. I get to. And so this was one of my things about African spirituality that I knew it would be beneficial for Black people in this country, is that you get in the habit of knowing what you want, number one. Because you don't go asking for something crazy or super vague, and then you're going to get something super vague or something crazy.
Right.
So you, as you grow in the tradition, you learn how to ask for what you want. You learn how to sit yourself down and get clear about what your objective is, and then leave room for the Holy Spirit, as the Catholics would say. Leave room for
Yeah.
leave room for things to adjust themselves according to your destiny, right? And so we have to really move into that position of power mentally so that we can move there physically. If we don't get the feel for that in our bodies, like, no, you cannot keep this from us. This is what we came here to have this. We get to have this. You don't get to stop it. And we're at a point right now, which I think is significant because there are other communities that have modeled knowing what they want from this country. That's
Or
what
from
I'll say.
us,
They've modeled their behavior. They come in, they already know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't come here under the same circumstances as immigrants. So we need to stop looking around for somebody else's solution to our problem. We need to know within ourselves what we need to build our communities, to have our families,
Absolutely.
to be free to emanate and assert our own culture, and tell people to get the FUCK out the way. Move, because you in my way.
Yeah.
You don't get to stop me with your ideas of who you think I am. I'm a whole person, and on top of that, this is another thing is we have forgotten who we are. Like, and when we say that, people always think it's like, okay, it's Black History time. No, it's not Black History time. It's time for us to get centered in our
It's Black
spirit,
History
in our divinity, in our, like, whatever spiritual discipline you practice. There is a truth to it that says you are a part of the Creator, and by that you get to create. And if anybody is impeding your progress for you to fulfill your destiny, they are in the way. They are an obstacle.
Right.
They are. They do not get. You don't get to go begging to them. They don't get to sit at your table without your pot. They don't get to hold and kiss your kids. They don't get to touch you. They don't get to come in your house. So the things that are important to us right now are going to shift because we need to have property.
Hello.
Because in this country, property ownership is the thing that says I get to do what the hell I want to, and you can just go on with yourself. And because that's one of the things that has been largely impeded for Black people, that has to change. And those are the types of demands that we have to start, we got to start asserting those things. I think that's where our internal thing goes. Because I saw Anjanou Ellis begging the governor's wife in Mississippi. Now, she was sincere in what she was saying, but it would just hurt my heart because she's such a beautiful sister, right? Very talented and all these things, but she felt like she could appeal to the humanity of the governor of Mississippi's wife. I said, of all the MFs on the planet, you done picked.
But sometimes they're not human.
Like,
Uh-oh.
And that's the truth.
A snapshot of Emmett Till. Like, what do you think this is going to accomplish? Why do you think these people get to have this much power? Why? Because anywhere else on the planet, whatever it is that's in the way of you mentally and physically making your next leap, you mow it down.
Yeah.
You mow it down.
What we have forgotten, baby, this is what we keep forgetting, and history should be teaching us.
Right on.
We have power. That's what I love about Eva and Orisha to Tradition.
Yes.
We have Ori. Okay. And we are all directly connected to Olodumare.
Yes.
Okay? So no matter what, we have our destiny, we have our character, personalities, and we have and own what we want. We had to know that within ourselves, and that's what Ori teaches us.
Ashe.
Okay, of how to understand that aspect of self. Okay, I can have a pity party and still kick your ass. Okay,
Exactly.
real simple. I can do
Exactly.
that
Brown.
because
Yeah.
I'm feeling kind of funny about it, but I'm
Mhm.
still understanding what's going on in this. Okay,
And the,
so
right. And you
understanding
know
it
what? The
don't
thing
mean
is,
I ain't gonna do something to you. Okay,
exactly,
and
because that's
that's
where
what we
we
have to
need to
do.
make that leap to I
Hmm.
will still you can still get it. Like,
Right.
yes, we nursed your babies, we cooked your food, we cleaned your house, we picked your cotton, we built your structures, we planned your cities, we made your stoplights, we did all this shit for you. Now, but you can still get it.
Hmm.
You can
And
still
here's
get it.
something else. I don't know if you all remember Bea Richards, the actress.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes,
Okay.
Oh yes.
All right. So she did a poem, The Ode to
yes,
White Women
yes.
and White
Yes.
Supremacy. Okay. And she had no problem telling them exactly because I love the lines of when she said, I fed your babies with my own breast.
I nursed them.
Yeah.
I
Nursed them.
nursed them.
Okay.
Yes.
So that didn't mean that I would not do something if you keep
Exactly.
on hurting me.
Yeah.
So we have to understand that yes, we have these human feelings. They are human
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because we learn through our evolution to be compassionate, kind, and loving.
Yeah.
Okay, but we also have the necessity to passionately speak and do the things that are necessary to get the pain and the hurt off of us. We have to
Okay.
understand that what happens when we are in fear.
Yeah.
Okay, hatred is no more than fear. Fear is your
Yeah.
greatest thing here.
Yeah.
Okay, when someone decides that they don't like you so much, they're in fear of you.
Yeah.
Now, is that fear real? Hell yeah, it is real. It should,
Yeah.
it is real because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, whenever you're trying to control another human being,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
you're going to do things to make that control palatable so that
Yeah.
they don't come back at you. Okay,
Right.
we did it. We controlled Europe for 500 years.
Yep.
Okay, that's a reality. But at the same time, we were products of war coming here.
Yep.
Okay, and we were products of economy. It's straight up economy. When we take
Yep.
the emotional stuff out of it and understand that, then I can look at it and say, oh, okay, okay, now it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, you did your, now it's mine.
Yeah. And I
Okay,
mean, but there's other options than going back and forth controlling people. Like, we could
we don't have to
live
do it.
in a world that works for everybody. That
Right.
would be awesome.
That's what
Right?
Ifa wants. That's what
But
our
we
tradition teaches.
yeah, and I think
However,
that's
not
the reason.
everybody got that lesson.
That's true. That's true. And
Okay.
I those are the people that have to be subdued.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
yeah, those are the people
yeah.
Taught a
that have to be
different way.
subdued.
On the
It-
live
it-
feed, it's taught a different way.
yeah, they have to. We have to change. We can't go around beating people into submission. We have
No, we
to go. It takes time for them to come around and see the light.
You know
You
what?
know?
When you think
yeah,
about
we
it,
give them some time, but they're not going. They don't get to be in the way while they're getting their
Yeah.
time.
No,
And they
Yes.
definitely
no.
don't get to be in leadership.
Get out of the
And I'm
way.
saying that's for black people
Right.
and white people and yellow people, green people, purple people. I don't care who you are. If you on timeout, then be on timeout. Don't put the microphone in your face. Don't be out front talking about you the leader, this, that, and the third. You don't get to run for president. You don't get to, you know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
have to really have some better standards for ourselves. And everyone to a degree, our spiritual presence is so strong in the world that we are mimicked constantly.
Constantly.
We are.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
mimicked
But we
constantly,
have been for centuries.
forever.
No matter what, for centuries.
Yes. We're
Okay.
mimicked constantly. You can
We
see
are
our
constantly-
footprints all through everybody's everything.
You
Mhm.
cannot
We are-
look at a structure in Europe that you cannot see
Mhm.
our handprint on it. Okay?
Exactly.
You cannot see a bathtub in a bathroom in any of the older buildings that did not, just in case in point, we built that structure for them to learn how to bathe.
Babe,
Okay?
yes.
Yes.
So, all these things, we are those people. What
Yes.
we need to understand is that we're also connected to that. How do we
Mhm.
change our dynamic? Well, I said again, we are at that precipice where the paradigm shift is taking
Yeah.
place now.
Mhm.
What are we putting out here in the world to let people know that shift is coming? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
See, because it's
Yep.
individuals. It's individuals before it is a collective.
Exactly.
So I have
think-
to tell my family and
Yeah.
myself, I feel some kind of way, okay?
Yeah.
Because George Floyd, Breonna, those are my children. You understand?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I
But
do.
at the same time, I can lift their spirits up in a room, feed their spirits so they can do the work in a room to help me heal.
Ashe.
Shift that. Because
Yeah.
they're going to have to shift it for their family lineages too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we got to
Yeah.
look at all the different things that we can do that's in our DNA, our spiritual DNA, our physical memory, our cell memory. Okay.
Mhm.
It's not good enough for me to remember past glories. I'm in glory right now. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
And so
Ashe.
I'm not asking for anybody to do anything for me. I don't care if you like me. That's your problem if you don't. I'm a wonderful
Exactly.
person. I'm a wonderful person because I know I'm a wonderful person.
Yeah.
I'm a delight to me. But if you don't understand it, that's your problem. Amen.
And see that attitude, what you just said, that is something that if we could open up the head of everybody, and all of us black folk, and pour it all right in there, we'd be fine. But it's going to take us time to get a good group of us on that same wavelength. But
That's
I
why
think
we
we're
do
reaching.
what we
I think
do.
we are
it's
reaching.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we're reaching the
happening.
tipping point. We're reaching
Yeah,
the tipping point. Yeah, we
it's
are.
We're at the
happening.
Yes.
tipping point.
But I was on the person's development. Some people for some people time is up. For some people they need more time. I think even it's hard for black folks because we keep thinking we're all at the same place.
No,
We're not.
we're not.
Working your whole life, get retirement. Somebody who never worked at all, they think they deserve the same retirement you got. It don't work.
You know,
No. And you know what else? We don't. It's okay. Everybody doesn't need to be on the same page at the same time.
No,
We just
Right.
need to reach critical mass. That's what we need to do.
We-
need to
we
reach
just-
critical mass.
yeah, we just need to be in the same book. We don't have to be
Yeah.
on the same page, but if we
Yeah.
can all
And
be
you
in
know
the
what?
same book,
Okay.
so
So
we are
personally,
in the same book.
Rolanda, when you're talking about people having conflicts within themselves while they're in outer conflict, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I get overwhelmed by something that I have to do, I have to remember that it usually involves white people. Organizations organizations are made up of individuals.
mhm,
And what an organization does is made up by the choices of those individuals,
Mhm.
right?
mhm.
And I'm also an individual. Now I know how I'm made.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Right.
know that as an individual, you have an Ori, you have ancestors, you have Egbek. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get
So
that.
I know that the shortest distance between 2 points is not my humanity bucking up with your humanity.
Right on.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I can take that to my ancestors. I can take that to my egg bay. I can take that to the Orisha. I can take that to the fire. It's a whole bunch of places I can take stuff. And because I'm in that position, then I'll have to remind myself sometimes, like, don't play powerless. Don't
Because
play
we
that
are
game.
not. We're not.
Yeah, don't play
And
the
we
game.
have
Because there's
we
so
have
many
to remember.
things that we see on a regular basis that say we don't have power. You scroll through Facebook,
Yup.
and at least 20
Yup.
people gonna tell you you're gonna die if you go outside and go jogging. You're gonna die if you bird watching. You're gonna die.
Let's go talk.
You understand what I'm saying? But you can't play that game. Like, I'm not playing that game with people.
Mm-mm.
Because right now, especially, you can't go outside thinking about that. You'll have a panic attack.
Mhm.
You go outside thinking about all the stuff Black people died doing. You'll have a straight up panic attack. And so you have to remember who you are. You've got to remember who you are. It's imperative that we maintain that energy, because as a part of the critical mass that has us at the tipping point, that is so important for us to make sure that we're solid there. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So whatever rituals we need to do, whatever, you need to go get a reading, you need to go do some work, you need to take a bath, you need to clean your head, you need to feed your head, you need to do whatever you need to do it. Because we don't have time for people to be like, oh, I'm gonna get a reading, but I ain't gonna do my work, or I'm not gonna observe my taboo. It's the end of the world. I'm finna eat some whatever your taboo.
Chicken.
So
Chicken.
you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And I hear people.
I ain't had chicken for 20 some odd years. I'm kind of feeling that.
I'm with you. Do you know what I'm saying? I could be at Popeyes right now, get one of them
Okay.
chicken sandwiches, talking about it's over anyway. It don't matter, right? But I gotta think about not just everybody who's here now, but everybody who's coming.
Coming.
Right. Our 7
Yeah,
generations down.
Yeah, it's up to us to keep that. If we know, then we are then responsible for what it is that we know. And if we
Right.
can uphold that, then we're going to be fine. I think we will be just fine. I don't think we need to be as concerned as we are. And some things we can just observe and keep it pushing. You know, we don't even have to address them. You just see, oh, okay. Like I saw that video of Candace on before anybody started commenting on it and doing bylines and all of that. I saw the video and I was like, I looked in the comments just to give myself a little bit of giggles, and saw all of the Oyembos big upping her. You know, oh yeah, finally somebody who got some good sense, and she's gassed off that. That's fine. Yeah. But I was like, you know what, Modupe? You can observe that and keep it pushing. That ain't got nothing to do with what you're
because
doing.
I ain't got that's not your monkey, that's not your show. Okay?
Yeah.
No.
And she's the monkey of that show. Period.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And she does not represent anybody but herself as an individual. And that's what her money is, which is cool. That's for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I realized that we also, an important part of maintaining our position, which I'm sure, like, yeah, this is probably less of a problem for you. But, you know, when you be trying to be in the mix too much, you have to keep reminding yourself what you don't have no relationship to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to remember, hey, you don't have no relationship to that. Keep it pushing. Keep moving along. Because don't get sidetracked by some foolishness.
So Sister Donna just joined us. She said, what did I miss? And I said, we're talking about how do you recognize and deal with conflicts with yourself when you're at war with yourself while you're at war with other people. And I'm glad y'all brought up Candace Owens, because I read a lot of comments and I heard Black people calling her all kinds of things that's like, if a white person said it, we'd be upset. And my thing is that is part of the conflict with Black folks. So we'll stop and get Candace Owens some minutes because she said something we didn't agree with. And all the white people out here going to war on our ass every second of the day. Right. So for me, I see Candace Owens and say, here's the sister that we get to know her name because she's on the other side. If she was on the side with us, she would have no value. We would not value if she got raped today, if she was murdered today. We would not even say her name. But the fact she's over there with white people, which means she probably has some trauma. So we could clearly see trauma when people shooting each other and killing each other. People like that, they have to go to the other side because we don't make room for them at the black table.
You know,
We'll make room for some white people who say they like us, but we won't make room for people. You know, that's we're at war with each other. We're at a war because she's a very reflection of you, and because she don't agree with where you are right now, I just keep it pushing. I have nothing to say about it. I'm like, that's on Candace, because I wouldn't even know her name if she hadn't came against whatever people are standing for. That's a compliment.
but what else about her have we considered? Okay, yes, we know about the trauma and everything.
Yeah.
But and it is. I don't know if I would not cry for her if she died. And if she
I
was
would, because
still
she's a black
there.
woman, so I would.
Okay, but I do know that whatever she's, the things that she's doing is because of the hurt and the pain that's going on in her own life. Okay, I don't know if it's just because she needs some money. Okay. And
Yeah.
she wants to do something to value herself. That's the way she values herself.
Mhm.
As a human being, I don't have to do what she's doing because that's
Right.
not my story. Okay?
Right now.
What I have to teach other people is that you also have to recognize you gonna have that. It's like
Right.
someone said something not too long ago about people who say stuff about kumbaya and how kumbaya was a very important part of our historical concept and time because it was songs sung in slavery. And we have now minimized the word kumbaya that had been in old gospel or old spiritual songs that got people through during a difficult time.
Right now.
But it's also used to let people know you don't have to go by that kumbaya niceness stuff all the time to make yourself feel good because you are scared and afraid of the conflict that's out here. Okay.
Right.
You're afraid that it is not only that it's systemic, but you're afraid of the fact that it's contagious, that it's gonna hurt you too. That if you are up there mad at these people, it's gonna get on me. I'm gonna lose something because you're mad. We've been dealing with that same mentality century after century after century. It is part of the process. That don't mean we got to go along with it. Okay, baby, that's how you feel. You stay
But that's not what we say to her.
corner, and I'm going over here because see, this is when you're climbing up a mountain, you ain't got time to hold on to those people that can drag
somebody
you
going the other
down
direction.
Okay,
Right on.
you ain't got time for that. So what you have time to do is to fix what's going on with you while you on the move.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree. But what I'm saying though, and I'm just going to use Candace Owens as a topic because here's the thing: she's still a black woman. We know that black women are not valued in black society. Black girls are not valued in black society. So we are the mules. We're the people out there pulling this thing along. And all I'm saying is, when I see someone like Candace Owens, and she's not by herself, she just has enough guts, I guess, to say what she's gonna say, whether you agree with it or not. And there's a lot of people out there who do the same thing. We just don't know their names because they back there hiding in the back somewhere. But when I see her, I tend to think to myself, first of all, I don't give her no play, so I don't never post nothing that she does, and I don't comment on nothing that she does. I just don't. But I hear black people calling her bed wenches and all, and I'm like, you act like people want it to be a bed wench. Like, what? What's the purpose of it? When white people do stuff, you're trying to get them to like you. You're trying to get the white supremacists to see you. I love you. You can call me a nigger, but we're family. We're blood. We do not do that for people who look like us who may not agree. We don't even know how to report them. We don't even have, okay, that's that system. Because here's the thing, does black life matter? Well, I don't know with black people. I'm tending not to think for some of us it don't matter at all. And I don't want to hear nothing about no systematic racism because you do not do the same thing to white people. So I don't want to hear that. There is something about us. We're at war with each other. This is a real war out here. That we will give her time because she don't agree. She ain't never lynched you. She never denied you a home loan. She never, she never called you a nigga. You didn't have to. I mean, like nigga, we gotta run for your life. She never did any of that. Seriously, she hasn't done any of that. And we give her all the time of the day. But the people who have done that, we're gonna make a place for them at the table so we can show them that we're the same. That's a problem.
But that's
Yeah.
also something
Yeah.
that has been
Yeah.
built into us that we have to understand that's been built into some
Yes.
people. Some people, okay?
Yeah.
And that you
Yeah.
actually have to work that out.
Out. Yes.
Okay. And when in working that out, you now have to find a way to teach it, and while you're teaching it, also absorb your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have to
Yeah.
deal with that. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Myself.
again, it's been going on for centuries. So with it going on with centuries from a spiritual perspective, what do you do? Okay,
Right on.
because like I grew up with folks like Jesse. I grew up with folks like Shanti.
Right on.
These are my people. Okay,
Yeah.
these are people I drank with
We
at
lied on
the 50-yard line at the club. Okay, okay. So
No,
I
you're
know
right
these
on.
people. All right? And I know that in the background, they're looking at, okay, we got to show this kind of unity and to galvanize our people here. But nigga, please, if you come up on me, I'm gonna hurt him. Okay,
Right.
that's the background talk that we do, and we know we do this. Okay?
Right.
We have to get real with this, okay, about where we are, and even on a spiritual nature, where are you? What are you doing here? Okay, because at the end of the day, it is okay to be conflicted.
Right on.
Yes.
As long as you don't let that conflict
Yeah.
stop you from moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
There
we
it
have
is.
to teach what courage looks like.
Mm-hmm.
We have to,
That's why I love y'all.
okay? We
Yeah.
got to teach
That's
them what
it.
courage looks like so that you can
Yeah.
actually put one foot in front of the other, even when you're scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
And know that you're scared, but you're going
Hey.
to walk anyway. Because that's
Hey.
what my mama did. That's
I had a
what
fan
my
on
grandmama
you
did. That's
right
what
now.
granddaddy did.
I had
Yeah.
the fan on you right now.
Hey.
And when you get
Yeah.
a minute,
Yeah.
and when
Yeah.
you
We
get a minute,
learned that. We learned that in the projects.
Yes,
You
we
can be
did.
scared. You can be scared all you want.
Yes, we did.
Shit.
Okay. I'm telling you, I learned that 3983 Lake Park taught me a well-whooped lesson. Okay.
That's right.
When
Yes.
people were popping the light bulbs out the hallway and the stairwells, and you had to run down there and figure out how you're going to hold your purse up under that so you could get your rent money into your apartment. Tell me about what I know.
That's right.
Right on.
That's what I'm talking about.
Say that. Say that. So what is the remedy? Here's our closing question, y'all. What do you suggest for people? Because I've had some talks with some folks who said in this moment, in this very moment that we're in, they feel something in them shift because they feel like they're in conflict with themselves. They'll tell you we got to get this law through. These are people who help to, help people do things politically. They are feeling somewhat of a conflict that will tell you need to go X, Y, and Z. But then they were saying, at some point I feel conflicted with myself because of the things that I learn or what I know, but I know this don't work because there's a direct conflict to me trying to be free or liberated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you suggest for people like that?
I'm saying about courage that teaching people that even though you got nervousness in your feet, your stomach feels like butterflies and overdriving steroids. If you move your toe forward and breathe, you can take the next step on. You can calm yourself down. Okay? And that's what that is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Open up your mind and your ass will follow.
What about you, from Oakwood?
I'm gonna say I just want to big up yeah and Ida. That's real estate right there. You gotta move regardless of the fear and the bubble guts and all the stuff, butterflies, whatever you want to call it. But and you know, when you get a minute, sort yourself out. Work on building up your interior landscape so it's worth some dirt. You know what I mean? Like when you have time, when you have downtime, when you have downtime, fortify yourself. When you have downtime, fortify yourself so that and trust yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of not moving forward when you are scared is because you don't trust that you got it. And sometimes you got to remind yourself, look, hey man, I'm more than this body. I'm more than this body.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
body got a lot of feelings. It got a lot of feelings. You know what I mean? The body got to pee. The body got to go to the bathroom. The body got to eat. The body got to be scared. The body going to get his feelings hurt and all this stuff. Okay. That all those things notwithstanding, keep it pushing because it's too important right now and always. Not just right now, but right now and always. It's what we're about. You being about your destiny and knowing that the conditions under which you are trying to achieve your destiny. You want to have good conditions, and right now that's what we're working on. We're working on the conditions for you, for your children, for your grandchildren, all the people that you love and that you will ever love and be. That's what we're working on right now is the conditions for them.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really well. Today we did in. Thank y'all so much for joining us today. This was a great conversation. I always kind of take the conversations I have with people and then bring them to y'all. Like I'm taking it to the wizard. You know, they always got good information. But I do think in our community sometimes that energy that you all have that you share every day is what a lot of people are missing. You could sit down with folks and just listen to what they share with you is how you learn to be connected. And my theory, this is just my theory, Londa. I think when I look at people who are misguided, I feel like they didn't have that. Because there have been times where I could have did something so out of pocket, but when I thought about my mama and my grandmama and them, I just couldn't do it. I was just like, no, they probably haunt me. I wouldn't make it out the door. I have something called immediate karma. I do something funky, and immediately something happens to me. I'm not kidding. I'd be like, I'm not kidding. I don't want to go through that right now. I don't want to do that. So for me, I feel like that's what kept me grounded my whole life. So I thank y'all so much for joining me today. And this was awesome. I love this. So let's get on out of here. We will see y'all tomorrow. Let's get in here, family. Hold on now. We out of here.
Oya de oya, cuero maribo.